Hey everyone, so today we're going to be learning how to divide fractions. And although this may seem like a hard thing to do, it's actually very similar to multiplying fractions. So if you know how to do that, this won't be challenging at all. So this time we don't have a word problem, so we can just focus on the estimating aspect of it. So here we have 7/8 divided by 1/3. So whenever you're estimating, the key to this is rewriting our fractions by rewriting them as whole numbers, or basically you would rewrite them as what whole number they're closest to. So here we can use our benchmark numbers, easy whole numbers, such as 0, 1/2, and 1. So these would be our benchmark whole numbers that we want to match these fractions to. So 7/8, we need to just figure out what number it's close to. Is it close to 0? Is it close to 1/2? Or is it close to 1? So if you don't know how big 7/8 is, you can actually draw it out. And soon you'll get better at these things and you won't have to draw it out. So we can imagine 7/8 as a slice of pizza. So here we have the slice of pizza. I'm actually going to use a different color because pizzas are not blue. And we have 8 pieces on this pizza. And so this fraction says that we have 7/8 of this pizza. So let's say that Billy from our previous problem ate 7 out of 8 of these slices of pizza. So we're just going to go ahead and color in 7 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here we have 7/8 represented on a pizza. So now we need to decide, is 7/8 close to 0? Is it close to 1/2? Or is it close to 1? This is a 2, by the way, not a Z, if that was confusing. So first, let's see, is 7/8 close to 0? If it was close to 0, we would have 0 of these slices of pizza shaded in. But it's not. So we know that 0 is not the answer. Then we also have 1/2. So if it was close to 1/2, we would have 4 of these slices of pizza shaded in because we would have half of the pizza shaded in, which is this much. But we actually have a lot more shaded in. And our last number that we could compare it to is the number 1. If it was a number 1, we would have the entire pizza shaded in, which actually we almost do have the entire pizza shaded in. We are just short of 1 slice. So out of these 3 benchmark numbers, we can say that 7/8 is actually the closest to the number 1. And if you're still confused, we can draw these benchmark numbers out into pizzas as well. So for the number 0, we could represent it on a pizza. This pizza with 8 slices, the slices are kind of weirdly shaped, but we have 8 slices. And 0 of them would be shaded in. Next, we would have the number 1/2. And so we would have 1/2 of the slices shaded in. And then the number 1. And we have the 8-slice pizza. And we would have the entire pizza shaded in. So you would just compare this pizza to these 3 pizzas and see which pizza is it the closest to. So the 7/8 pizza is a lot more shaded in than this one. It's close to the 1/2 pizza, but not as close as it is to this pizza. So I know that was a little, I know that would be hard to do quickly, but that was just an example so you could picture it. But yeah, so you would just imagine these fractions as pizzas or as anything you want and try to see what whole number or what whole easy fractions that you know are these fractions closest to. So here we just established that 7/8 is really close to 1. And then we also have the number 1/3. So we would need to rewrite 1/3 as one of these benchmark numbers as well. And if you were to do the pizza method, you would actually figure out that 1/3 is very close to 1/2. And I can show you real quick by comparing the 1/3 pizza to the 1/2 pizza, because we would have 8 slices here and 8 slices here. And the 1/3 pizza would have a third shaded in, and the 1/2 pizza would have a half shaded in. And these slices are actually pretty close together. This pizza just has one more slice shaded in, but if you were to draw the pizzas for the 0 and the 1, you would see that the 1/3 is actually the closest to 1/2. So then you would just treat this as the division problems we've been doing before, and we would rewrite it as a multiplication problem, rewrite the 1 as a fraction, switch the division into a multiplication, and flip the 1/2 into a 2/1. And then treat it as normal multiplication and do 2 times 1 is equal to 2 and 1 times 1 is equal to 1. So our answer is just 2. And just remember that whenever you're estimating quotients of fractions, you do not have to use these benchmark numbers here. And actually, quite often, you won't be using those benchmark numbers. You can use any other whole number to figure out what the fraction is closest to, and you can use other fractions that are easy to solve with, such as halves and fourths, and figure it out from there. So yeah, that is the end of this video on how to divide fractions. And yeah, so I hope it all made sense.